everyone, welcome to Deck Talk, real conversations, real builds, and real people. I'm Alexis with Decks and Docks, and today I'm here with Adam Trenter of Atlantic Seawall Dock, one of our very trusted marine contractors here in Florida. And today we just kind of want to have a little conversation about you, about what you do, about your experience with decks and docks in general, and then obviously more specifically, this project that we're sitting on.
Yeah, cool.
So thank you for being here with us. I appreciate it. How did you get started doing all of this? How did you get started in marine contracting to begin with?
Once I got out of college, it was like middle of 2004, and I came back to Hope Sound where I grew up and lived, and connected with a couple of my buddies who were in the marine industry field, and was just working for them hourly, bottom of the ladder, just doing the labor, installing hurricane straps. At the end of 2004, I remember there were 2 hurricanes back to back that were like heading to Florida.
Nice.
And it was just like 3 or 4 days before I was working on one of their builds, fixing a dock, like putting hurricane straps on it. And I'm thinking, this dock is gonna get destroyed. Here I am like a couple days before a storm trying to fix it. And sure enough, the 2 hurricanes came through and like destroyed so many docks around Martin County. And then the following year, I just started my own company, used some of my credit cards to buy some equipment, met a couple people who were looking for work, and just started getting into it for myself. I just kept investing little by little in equipment, trying to meet good people and build a team. And here we are over 20 years later, still doing it and still love it, and just have an opportunity to do even higher quality, more custom jobs. And every day I just wake up looking for the next one, and I love my job, so that's how I started.
Well, you're good at it because you've got an amazing reputation. We've known each other for 11 years now, I think it's been.
Yeah,
I think,
at least.
Yeah, it's got to be that. So Adam, tell us about this build specifically, the one that we're literally sitting on. How did that go for you? What was it like?
Well, I remember getting I think it was a text from you, and you were like, I have something in the works, I'll tell you more about it later. And then we talked about it, and I said, sure, I'd love to be a part of it, because it was just a neat opportunity, something new, something where I could learn from, be able to use like the newest, highest quality products on the market, team up with deckstore.com and Decks and Docks, and really just work together to provide this homeowner here with an amazing custom deck using like the best materials. I thought it was a neat opportunity for not only me, but my team. Everyone got to learn a lot and experience what it takes to just build a really high quality deck. So it was just a good opportunity.
Yeah, and your team was a lot of fun. Carl was probably everybody's favorite besides you.
Yeah, Carl's a really
favorite.
good guy. I always say, one of the coolest things I like to brag about is my A team, because without them, I don't really have anything. It's just the people and the team that I really strive to build, where everyone is not only friends, but just enjoys working together. And I've always just stressed, like, even if it takes 2 or 3 times as long, let's just do it right the very first time. If you catch yourself making an error, or we find out later that we've made a problem, just go back, fix it before you move ahead. And then when the job's done, all the little details end up providing for just a really high quality job. And it's the little details at the end when they come together that makes the whole job, the big job, look perfect.
Yeah, and you guys were perfectionists in the best way, in the very best way. And I know on this one, you realized that the homeowner had a wheelchair, so you guys built a ramp with kind of leftover material, which was just a nice, awesome thing that you guys just did.
Yeah, I mean, you want to see what it'll take to give the homeowners the best experience. And if you have to do a couple of little things here and there, we always just try to customize things to make it work for them. So, that was a little thing that we did. But, I always try to talk to the homeowners and see kind of what their expectations are in the beginning. So that allows us to set it up to exceed them, and not just meet them, is what we always try to do.
You definitely did. And I know this build went over in time, but that's because we kept finding things that you were like, oh, we got to do this to make it right and to make it perfect.
Yeah,
and that was awesome. And your whole team was like that.
Yeah, we just basically, one step at a time. If you come up with something that's not planned, it may take some more time, a little bit more material, but just do it, get it done, don't complain, and then keep moving on.
Maybe complain a little.
Yeah.
You can complain a little bit, but
Yeah,
I don't know what good it'll do you.
That's right.
As far as like your business, are there any like tools that you just couldn't live without? Like, do you have a drill or whatever? Like, is there anything that you're like, this is my baby?
Yeah, I think what I'm most proud about and use on a daily basis that I probably couldn't go without is my mobile workshop office / cargo trailer. So I have an electric vehicle now, so I'm able to set up an electric package inside of my enclosed trailer and power it off my truck. So no matter where I go, whether I'm doing estimates in the field, I can, do my site visit, meet with the customer, and immediately go back right into my mobile office because it has Wi-Fi connections in my truck. Cool. Give them a quick estimate turnaround, which a lot of times is the deciding factor of winning a job. People don't want to wait a couple weeks for a bid. So that's nice when I'm doing, office field work like that. And then on builds like this, my guys have a place where everyone knows where the tools go. We can get out of the hot sun for a little while. Gives me a little place to hide when I need to.
Play a video game real quick.
But I think that's probably one of my most key tools that I take around now. And inside of that thing, I just have it packed full of battery-powered tools and everything else we need because, outside of just building decks, we also do a lot of marine stuff too. So I have to have stuff for doing seawalls, boat lifts, docks, stuff that's over the water. So it does take a good bit of tools, but that's probably what I'm most proud about and find most useful every day.
When I saw you pull up with that, I was so excited. I think everybody here wants to just go in and look at it. Your guys were probably like, why are you doing this?
Yeah,
I thought it was awesome.
It's a little incognito. You don't really know what's in there.
I wouldn't know what it was. It was just a trailer.
Yeah.
And you open it up, and it's like this layer of equipment and electronics. It was very cool.
So it just helps my guys. I have a lot of miscellaneous hardware in there and stuff you kind of don't, boat lift parts, you never know what you're going to need. So, I just try to instill in my guys that, whatever you take out, let's just put it back. And then no matter where we are, everyone knows where the tools are. They know what to grab. And then, it takes a lot of effort to keep it organized, but that's just part of the job, really. Take a, 20, 30 minutes at the beginning or end of the day to get organized. And then when you go do different jobs throughout the week, it's so quick because you get there, you pull it out, do the job, and then put it away, and you're ready for the next one. So
and everything's there.
And back in the day, I used to just throw it in the back of my truck or have tons of toolboxes. So it's definitely a different day for us.
Leveling up. Adam, what's one thing people don't realize about this line of work, about what you do?
Okay, so that's a great question. I would say the behind the scenes stuff, the preparation that it takes to get the approvals in place. This was a little bit different because it's on land, and generally for permitting purposes, you would just need engineering, which is a simple drawing that an engineer signs and seals, and then a survey, you go get a permit and you've got it. But the most challenging part that people don't really see behind the scenes for a marine contractor is the work it takes to get more complicated permits that are over the water because of the different marine regulations. Sometimes it can take a year or two based on the size or the scope of the work. So there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that you really don't know that can take a long time. You really have to be good at merging different contractors together, especially if you do any sub work. We do most of the work in-house, but we have to bring in electricians, plumbers, coordinating that with the owner, getting all the paperwork from the owner, and then finally, once you finally get the local building permit approval, then it's downhill because you've got a good team and you've got the right tools and the right equipment. You show up and you're ready to work,
Yeah.
But it just takes a lot of planning and paperwork, and the administrative end is the hardest part.
Oh, I bet. And
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of times the people who are wanting you to do this job don't always realize what's going on in the background. So why is it taking so long? You're it's the permitting, I promise.
And I'm really blessed because I have, my sister is Candace, she works on the back end for us, so she handles all my permitting for me. I have an engineer that I've worked with since 2005. He's still one of my good friends, and he does all my drawings for me. I can get him to come out in just a couple days to visit me at a site. Another couple of days later, he emails me a digital signed copy of the plans. Most permits now you can do online at the different permitting departments. You can even record the notice of commencements online, so you really don't have to go too many places, but you still have to sit in front of the computer
and know what you're doing and know.
Yeah, and get it all submitted, and but then once you finally get that permit, then it's fun to get started.
Then we can do this. As all the tough stuff is over.
Yeah.
What's your experience been like over the years working with decks and docks, good or bad? Hopefully just good, but.
Yeah, it's definitely been good. So decks and docks always kind of makes you feel like your order is important, even if it's not too big. They've always really went out of their way to make sure I get it very quickly. I mean, every time I ask you, you're like, all right, let me make a couple calls. When do you need it? And I try to give enough notice. You know, it kind of goes both ways. I don't always want to be like, I need it right now.
No, you're good about that.
But
you're one of the good ones.
even when I do say, hey, how quick can you get it to me? It's if not that day, it seems like it's the next day. So the delivery times have always been so good, and the pricing has always been more than fair. I don't feel like I have to, you know, worry about price shopping or worrying about getting the lowest price or looking around. I can feel like, you know, confident that if I just put an order in, I'm paying a fair price. And it's just nice to know that they have everything in stock most times. I've never really had a problem. You know, maybe some unique color choices on decking, but I mean, almost 10 out of 10, I call up and I'm like, do you guys have it? You do. And even if for a particular job, if I'm working with another supplier or if they're out of something, you guys come through still for me and say, oh, you're short on that? I'll bring it over. So
yeah, that's so good to hear. That makes me happy.
Yeah, you guys have always treated me like a VIP. And
well, you are.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
As a marine contractor, and because I know you do a lot of seawall work in the area and even farther. Anything special about what you do with seawalls or anything cool or big projects that you've worked on?
Yeah, sure. So I've always kind of marketed myself more towards like a high-end custom builder, focusing on obviously marine construction. So we started getting into doing more seawalls over the years. Seawalls are great because you kind of get in and you end up getting the dock, the boat lift, kind of like all the work, because the seawall is the most challenging and most expensive part. So it's always fun to start a seawall job. You know, they can take up to a month to do on some of the residential jobs. So, you know, when you go back 6, 7, maybe 1 year later and you come and you get to see all the grass is done, the landscaping's in, the boat's on the lift, and maybe you're doing like a service or just checking out something. It's just neat to see kind of like, you know, a month or two worth of work getting used. And
coming together, and you're like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be.
And people, you know, they use their docks and their boat lift for fun. You know, they're entertaining, they're taking their kids out. So you give people a quality of life upgrade that they may not have had. And it's just kind of neat to be a part of it. It's neat to see it years later.
Yeah, it's a good feeling, right? You're like, wow, I'm part of this. Like, I did this, I built this, and this is going to be here, and they're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, totally. So, you know, because I've been in business for a while now and plan to be for another long while, it's good to kind of just think ahead. And that's why I've always tried to just market myself again as more of a high-end builder using like the best quality products. So although we're more expensive than some, you know, you do get what you pay for, and whether it's the skilled craftsmanship or just the newest products out or just the higher end looking stuff that you may not find different places, like we can make anything happen. We're doing a job now in Okeechobee, a big boathouse, and a couple people around the area have contacted me because they want something similar. This one guy wanted like a garage roll-up door with enclosed sides. So he wasn't.
For his boat?
Yeah, for his boathouse. So think of it like a garage over the water, you know.
So
and
cool.
He hasn't really been able to find anyone willing to take it on, but I said, sure, we can do it.
And you've never done that before?
No, but I have, you know, the creative side to me where I can put some designs together. You know, we'll have to get it engineered, but I always like the harder jobs that take some creativity and design. So those are the jobs I like the most. Sometimes you'll get projects where, you know, all the engineering's already done, they'll send it to you and they just want a price. Those are fun too. You don't have to work as hard on the front end, but I'll take any job. We just try to, you know, exceed the customer's expectations and maybe overbuild it a little bit. It's kind of what we like to do.
So when did you make that jump from like, you know, where you first started with just like attaching hurricane straps and just like doing, you know, probably wood decks and docks? Where did you make that jump to realize like, oh wait, I have something more here to offer. Like I have this creative thing and I can do whatever the customer wants and then some.
Yeah, I guess it comes down to just once you finally do realize that, you know, that drive is inside of you and you have the ability and you gain the confidence to know that you can not only get the jobs but finish them on time and exceed expectations, then really you realize that, you know, you're limitless. So if you find a lead or a job that is challenging, I'll still put a price on it because the homeowners need to find someone to get it done. You charge a fair price, but still, you know, every contractor deserves to make money, that they're out working hard to earn. So, there's an equation to it all where, you want to make sure you cover your overhead, your materials, and still give it fair
and
price.
still be able to feed your kids.
Yeah, and still make a good dollar. So, I think every day it's just that little bit of extra motivation you turn on to try to go for the next level.
Yeah.
And try to find jobs that are maybe a little bit more challenging, that force you to go outside of your comfort level. It'd be easy to just say you service boat lifts or, stick with one little area, but I've always tried to expand and do pretty much anything as long as it pays well and, we can get it done on time. I'm down to put a price on it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, is there anything that you have your sights set on for the one day? Gosh, I would love to be able to do that, or I would love to actually do that.
Yeah, so I would definitely love to grow a little bit larger and maybe take on a few more commercial jobs, or maybe even a little bit more government work if I could. So, it takes building a bigger team. Financial requirements like bonding and stuff are important. So I think obviously the most important part of any good contracting company, or really any business, is the team that you can build around it and the people. Anybody can go to Home Depot and buy the right tools. Anybody can go to Decks and Dock and just have the materials delivered, but then having the team to support all those tools and materials and the knowledge behind it to do it more than right is the challenging, but part I love the most is just building a team, teaching everyone kind of what our standards are, and then kind of watching everyone work together and then learn from each other. It's fun to see it go down.
I like the way you said more than right.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it was very cool when we were watching you out here working with your team. There is a lot of teaching, and you also let them give them that space to be creative. And if you make a mistake, we can fix it, but you can see how much they appreciate that, and you take their input.
Yeah, I found that it does me good sometimes to just not talk as much when someone has a problem and just maybe listen a little bit more to what their solutions are. And I've always encouraged my team, if there is a problem, try not to come to me with the problem, maybe come to me with a few solutions before, and we can come up with a plan. So I just always try to have everyone on my team have a more solution oriented approach, because all I do all day basically is solve problems. So I kind of expect my team to be on that same level with me at some point. So that's one of the things I like most about seeing my team grow, is them having solutions and just saying, these are a few options that we can do. And that's what was really cool about the team we had out here. You guys got to see it happen in real life. And
it was awesome. And we really did. And even the younger guys out there, because you've got some experienced guys, but even some of the younger ones who haven't been doing this that long, they had that approach. You could see that they got that from you, where they wouldn't just come to you with the problem. They're like, hey, this is going on, but I think we can do this, maybe this. What do you think?
Because you're gonna have little problems. You're gonna have little errors on any site. Nothing's gonna go perfectly the entire way. So the good companies deal with problems fast and efficiently and just fix them when they first see them. So then down the road, it doesn't get any worse.
So what are some things that you've learned over the years that kind of make a good build possible and make it more than good? Like you said, make it special and great.
Well, I definitely think it starts out with meeting with the customer and understanding what their goals are and their expectations. And when you develop the estimate or the build plan, always thinking about how you can exceed those in some way, even if it's from a timing standpoint, starting sooner, getting done quicker, offering little changes along the build that may feel like upgrades to them, even if it costs you a small little bit of time or material.
Like the wheelchair ramp.
Yeah, it's just worth it at the end, just the little details of carpentry or craftsmanship that just really finishing off, like sanding little edges that most people would leave not sanded, or just ensuring that everything is perfectly plumb. It just takes a little bit more time, but in the end, it just makes for a real cool
and it's
job.
worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Thank you so much for being here and
Of course.
doing this whole thing, this project.
It was a pleasure to be a part of. I'm grateful for the chance too.
All right, well, it looks like that's a wrap on our episode 1
That's right,
of
first
Deck
one.
Talk, first one. Is there anything you want to close with or anything you want to say?
No, I just am grateful for the opportunity to be a part of it. It's been enlightening. I've learned a lot, and it was just cool to give a family an awesome deck at their house that they'll have for years to come.
Yeah, and we really appreciate the heck out of you.
Yeah.
And for those of you watching this, obviously, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to see more content like this. You can like, comment. We would love to engage with you. And thanks for being here with us. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good job, Alexis.
Beautiful. We did it.